That's a good question to start with. So basically what happens, the kind of learning guys like us, were old school. We have learnt through hands-on work experiences, took a somersault in 2020. But I'd mention that it was all for the good. So initially what happened is that we were running with blinkers on set models and set strategies. 2020 made us think differently, and out of the box would mean there was no box. Okay. So therefore how to optimize, how to get manpower, how to monitor remotely, how to get our supply chains in place, how do we engage with customers, customer service, logistics, supply chain, everything was a challenge. However, going by the data analytics and all sorts of modern gadgetry and applications, we could circumvent that. So work from home was kind of archaic, or we had no clue. We struggled to keep it in place with a confident smile on our face, knowing fully well that we don't know the outcome. But nevertheless, we did overcome, and that is the strength of humanity and good managers, and continued the pace, and fortunately we grew, and that was what is most important. Well, any team or function or leadership which could not reinvent themselves with the new model, I think was one of the primary concerns and criterias to make or break it. To incorporate new systems, policies, methods was the second. And third was, how do you monitor with analytics? So there is always a propensity where people would like to have direct hands-on understanding on where the team is, who's who, where's what going on, and control. When you have to let go of control and actually empower people, and to trust them, that is something which was the clincher, if you ask me. So till 2020, these were buzzwords as well, but maybe it was not being actually actioned. Post 2020, it was mandatory that you walk the talk, and that is where the third point, I think, turned out to be more interesting, and people who actually aligned won. People who could not, not perished, but did take a big brunt. Okay. So we have come into the country about 14 months ago, and we are currently, or till the financial year end, we were only 9 months in operation, and 22-23 would be technically our first full year of operation, and we already have nearly 170 people on board. Another 199 or about 200 people planned were coming on board. A lot of the people would also be outsourced, and of course we have a large team with our the partner companies which are there. So we have about 250 Tesla power shops which are exclusive Tesla battery shops, and growing to about 750. We might even touch 1000 this year. We have nearly 250 service centers across the country, with maximum people on our roles, which are maybe double the size of my sales team on service payroll. So sales at a grassroots level is also outsourced. Service is also outsourced after a particular level. We don't want to leave any grey areas in India or any corners untouched. We are currently in 27 states, and by the end of the year, 22-23, we should be totally covered. Importantly, we have pivoted our business in India. Out of primarily being just a battery company, we have launched battery as a service, where we mentioned that, or the model is, we operate with batteries at a OPEX model, not a CAPEX model. So we are deploying nearly 1 billion US over the next 3 years, where we would, the priority segments or sectors are telecom, the renewable energy sector, solar power plants, hydro and wind, the banking sector, the data centers, where our Prime Minister has mentioned that India is going to be the number one data center point in the world. So they will need redundancy, nothing better than the batteries. And then of course the EV ecosystem which is there, not infrastructure, ecosystem to be powered up. This also will include the army and the forward area resources, the hospitality and the hotel industry, hospital industry. So everybody needs power backup, and therefore there is a huge escalation in the price of fuel, diesel or petrol, whatever, and the entire operations which are powered by the Gensets are nearly 70,000 recorded megawatts to 90,000 megawatts, which is using diesel. So the per unit price of army installation in a forward area may be as high as $1 per unit. So this can be given a solution with the battery backup 24 hours. Okay, all the households, even if there is a large complexes though, when there's a DG set, there is a lag, maybe a 30-second lag, you would have noticed.
Yeah.
With a battery backup, there is instantaneous power source. There is no difference.
Yeah.
It kicks in automatically. Similarly for banking, if 1 second the bank server is down, 1 million transactions will fail.
Exactly.
Nobody can do it. So therefore, data centers, telecom, your call will drop. Okay, and then of course the solar power, the renewable energy space, where again our Prime Minister has mentioned that 475 gigawatts of renewable energy coming in. Now 99% of these don't have a battery bank, because it is so there's 60% additional cost.
Yep.
So if at a capex, if we give it at a opex, paid over say maybe 10 years, it doesn't hardly or it doesn't at all or very minor impact on the ROI. Okay, especially on a OPEX with a near zero interest rate. So therefore, they would love to generate more power, and the power deficiency to some extent will be mitigated. So therefore, this is our mainstay as far as the empowerment of the energy and power space in India is concerned. That is what we are doing. Okay, that's a very wonderful question. So what happens is, fossil fuels are going to deplete soon. Okay, so people might say that okay, we have reserves for next 100 years, but the specific gravity of the earth, there is only a particular percentage of which you can mine. So lithium ion is actually also a product which is mined. It is a natural resource. So although Tesla Power USA has 132 types of batteries, okay, currently, and expanding. So we are, I would say, technology agnostic, in the sense that whichever technology you want, we have that technology in our battery division. Okay. Now, these solutions are also customized. Now, if you look at say lithium ion, there's a lot of talk about batteries catching fire and stuff like that. But we have a solution to that. There is something called phase change material, which is patented product, which if it encapsulates the battery, you can optimize the battery heat and it will not catch fire. As far as the other resources in batteries are concerned, the lead acid batteries, or in the batteries in the same genre, they can be smelted at the end of life. Now, what is end of life for our batteries? Generally, a battery will give you maybe a 2 years warranty, maybe runs for 3 years, maybe runs for 4 years out of warranty. Now, if you take extended warranty on the batteries, it will go for maybe 3 years, 4 years, similar. Okay. At the end of 4 years, it will die. You have to discard the battery. In our case, we again have patented products which you add to the battery. By default, our battery will give you 4 years of battery backup. okay, and it can go up to 7 years. So therefore what happens, you increase the life cycle of the battery, and you can rejuvenate these batteries as well for maybe another 3 years, okay, goes to about 10 years, and then at end of life of the battery, you smelt it and you build a brand new battery and start once again. So it is not going into landfill, it is completely sustainable, low carbon footprint. Therefore, if you have seen, if we take example of Delhi NCR, you know, gensets are banned, it's all batteries. Why? Because it is a green product. And we are in the green space, and all our solutions are sustainable green solutions. Therefore, we are a perfect match to the COP26 which India has signed, and going towards sustainability and a green India 2070. Now, what we can do, we can try and bring this down to maybe 2050, 2060, and therefore why we have deployed this quantum of money and resources into trying to mitigate that. So primarily there's a lot of anxiety related to energy anxiety, which you are mentioning, range anxiety, performance anxiety, your cost anxiety. Okay. Exactly. So people have not yet started talking about the service anxiety part. Okay, so there are, according to my count, at least 5 anxieties related to the electric vehicle segment. The biggest issue is that India, possibly the grid doesn't have that much of capacity to convert into full electric mobility or even 70% mobility by the year 2030, which is the target. Okay, so first and foremost, we got to empower or develop the grid to take this kind of a transformation in a country like India. Therefore, our battery solutions are increasing the capacity by 30% if it is deployed at a large scale. Second is your battery charging and chargers. So we plan to put in about 5,000 chargers. Okay, until unless you see, why are you comfortable buying a IC car? Okay, because you drive out, you see a petrol pump. So you're going to drive out and see a charging station. As simple as that, which is not the case. Yeah. Therefore, you have doubts that what happens to my battery if it drains. In Delhi heat, in red light, your air conditioning is on, your battery goes down. So therefore, you need chargers. Exactly. So that is the second issue which is there. So I have been talking to Niti Aayog as to how we can monetize government buildings and all in primary locations. Monetize those properties and empowering service providers to leverage on those properties, trying to get battery installations in place or charging infrastructure in place, and therefore everybody can see that it's visible. They can drive in, they start driving in and start charging, and therefore the sales will go up. Okay, exactly. So the primary market now is the 2-wheeler and 3-wheeler segment in India, and that is where we are also focusing, where we are not manufacturing any of it, but we are the ancillary suppliers for those batteries, and it can be any technology. Okay, what is required by the manufacturing companies, customized. So I mean, we are happy with that, and we kind of and if we also launch a leasing model for that, which is a possibility, although we haven't, then the prices also come down. So, we are all in the same space. We are not against each other. I love every manufacturer who comes in, because they, the market size increases. It's a joint communication, so sensitization of people happen. And therefore, everybody has got a share of the, opportunity. I will not use the term cake. It sounds kind of very commercial, but there's an opportunity, and we are there to support and service the people like you and me. We need that service. So the more, the merrier, and everybody will grow. India is a very, very large country and very progressive, and therefore everybody will have a part of the a share of the opportunity, and everybody will grow, and we are a part of that journey together. So I absolutely adore, respect, and love the fraternity and the good work which they are doing, and we are part of that team. As simple as that.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.